Come on, hurry up.
What's good, everybody? What is good? I hope y'all sound good. All right, what is good, everybody? It is Big Game James here, Silver and Blue Nation. You know how we do. I got my dog Bouse Cowboys in effect. What up, big dog?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, it's a good day. Cowboys finally won after like a 4-game losing streak, so it's a great day right now.
Oh yeah, man. It was long overdue, and it was a lot that happened that I was actually super happy to see, man.
Right.
And I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to definitely talk about that. Hold on one second. Sorry, I think some stuff is just repeating. There we go. Sorry if you heard that. I was doing some things, so I was doing some things, so I apologize. Let me give a few shout outs to people in the building. My dog Stephen Arthur, Val Gutierrez, Gregory Davis, David Rollerez, if I'm saying it correctly. My people in the building, Carlis Montana. Sheila. Russell Harrison, what's up with you, big dog? Been a long time. Juwan James, salutes to you. Mel Hayes, what's good? Keep on coming on in, and let's do this damn thing. But let me give a shout out to you right quick, big dog. Happy birthday to you. Your birthday was just passed, so happy belated birthday to you. Another year that you're on this earth, and that's always a good thing.
Oh yeah, man. Appreciate that. It was the first time I was able to really watch the Cowboys game in a little while with just no work around it. Just enjoyed it. It was Sunday. And thank y'all everybody who said happy birthday to Boss Cowboy. Greatly appreciate all the love.
Yes, sir. And shout out to my guy Raymond Colazzo. I think that's the last name. My dog been banging. Hopefully them Sacramento Kings do something, big dog, because I know you be feeling it over there. You are faithful. But let's also give prayers. We actually talked about this. It's kind of wild, and I don't want to sound weird when I say this, but it's wild how we were talking about the strength conditioning coach Marcus Paul about, us thinking about maybe we need to go in a different direction because of the rash of injuries
Yeah.
that have been happening with the team. And then the thing that went on yesterday, the Cowboys closed their facility, practice, everything. They've been hush on it. I have some information on it, but I'm going to be sensitive. We just know that Marcus Paul, strength and conditioning coach, is right now. He is. I don't know if he's doing better. They've been like really hush on it, but we're just lifting him up in prayers. He was in, I know, intensive care, and just hopefully everything works out for him and the best for him and his family at this time.
Yeah, I mean, we both was very well. I went very in depth on my displeasure for the amount of injuries, but I definitely stand with you on the time of being sensitive. Like I even vowed within myself that even though I had, my concerns on the injuries, that just out of respect for him and his family, to kind of just save that
Mm-hmm.
and know what his actual well-being is going to be, because I wouldn't have the theme "Your Voice Matters" as an anthem to my brand if I didn't believe that. So I just want to be real sensitive to be, because even if word of what we're saying get to him, it could actually stress him, and you never know how that could affect his health.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely taking a pause on even a discussion into maybe late December, something like that, or where I know for sure what his well-being is.
Right, for sure. And like I said, let's hopefully everything works out. And we don't want anything happen. It's been a bad year as far as 2020 goes with a lot of things. Hopefully this is not one of them. He can recover and get back on his feet and be well again. So definitely prayers are going up. Shout out to you, Clinton Daniel. Definitely let's get it tomorrow. But hey, guess what? We still got to play some football. There
Right.
is going to be a game tomorrow with the Washington football team. But let's talk about this Minnesota game. It's been a long time coming. Dallas was on a 4-game losing streak, had not won a game on the road this season. We've been frustrated, but we also been happy with the last two performances with Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Philadelphia, I felt like, well, shoot, we could have won the game if maybe you did have a go Gadget Gilbert or even an Andy Dalton with a better offensive line. We played great, but we couldn't get it done on the quarterback end. We play the Pittsburgh Steelers. You insert Garrett Gilbert. His first start comes out and plays pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? We actually could have won that game. The rushing game looked better. Defensively was better. We had turnovers. It was like, okay, this is what we've been wanting to see, boss. This is the team that we've been wanting to see, at least the defense we've been wanting to see. And then we go into this Minnesota game, and I called it. I'm gonna just say it again. I said we were gonna beat Minnesota, and it wasn't an upset.
No.
But we go into that game in Minnesota, like I said, and get the road victory. Dallas ran the ball well. Ezekiel had his first 100-yard game. Tony Pollard looked explosive again. Andy Dalton, they gave him player of the game, 3 touchdown passes, boss, efficient. Offensive line, that was the biggest thing that was huge in that game, was the switch at the last minute when they made Terrence Steele a no-go, put Zach Martin, kicked him out at right tackle, played my guy who I've been screaming for forever, Connor McGovern, put him at right guard, and guess what? That offense was humming. Their best offensive rushing performance of the year, I believe. I have about 180 yards rushing. And then on the defense, we made some critical plays to win the game. So just as everything I've been saying, I feel like I talked a lot. What are your kind of thoughts about that whole Minnesota game and how it turned out?
Man, this is the reason why I hit you up. Like, hey, man, we got to do a show. Like, I know we do shows on Saturday, but we actually did an impromptu show about this because if you've been following us on Saturdays and been getting the final thoughts, I want to slow it down on a lot of those points you said because they was real good. One of the things that you've been really beating the drum on that I want to just kind of rewind and kind of talk about is the better adjustments by McCarthy. Because you were saying that, like, as everything was bad, there was still some silver lining. There was still some things that was looking good. Like you was bringing up the last time we spoke, the fact that we wasn't holding on to bad players. We wasn't holding on to bad performances. We was making switches. So that was steady improvement. We saw the improvement from Mike Nolan going to the sidelines. We discussed that. We seen the improvement there. And then you definitely was beating the drum on McGovern. And they actually ran the exact same thing that you said 2 weeks ago, said it again last week, and it happened where they kicked out Zach Martin, the right tackle, which you said specifically, McGovern at right guard, right, to get Steele out, to make a better offensive line as a net gain. You called it, it happened, and it put our quarterback in a better position because what Dak was doing, people was taking for granted. The fact that he came back and he was throwing off balance, he was maneuvering better in the pocket, he was taking the gap, or he was taking up for the bad offensive line. But with Andy Dalton, if you didn't fix that, we had no shot, because he's not an improviser like Dak. Now you say Dak need everything perfect. He need everything perfect. And that's just what it is. But as long as we made the adjustments, specifically some you specifically been calling for, we are truly in like some winning football positions to where it's going to at least be competitive now, not just blowouts like we were seeing.
Yeah, and it's a, it's like I said, it's kind of crazy. The NFC. Here's my thing. I went on this show. Some people try to get on me, some of these Philly fans, and hopefully they jump in here. They try to get on me. We did that little show and they were talking about, oh, y'all capping now because now y'all jumping up and down because you won one game. Now you're talking about winning the division. You weren't saying that on the show. You were just saying, hey, you know what? I ain't really worried about this division. And I'm going to just keep it real. I'm still not. So if you listen to us, I'm not worried about this division because I still don't think we're going to go anywhere without a Dak Prescott. If you maybe somehow, some way, Dak Prescott could come in the playoffs and play, but I still don't want that. I'm going to keep it real because I'm worried about the injury. I want him to be fully healthy. You still on that 1 year deal. I don't know, want any more bumps in the road for no Dak Prescott. If it could happen, I wouldn't be against it, but I'd rather it not. Just because I want to see Dak fully healthy and I want no hitches in the road with his contract or anything else to use an excuse to not pay Dak Prescott. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I guess that's my worry about that. But the frustrating thing is this defense that we knew the defense had talent, boss. Okay. It's
Yeah.
not like we didn't. Here's the thing. It's so crazy how people are like, oh, now y'all talking about division. I was talking about the division when the division before the season started. Okay, I was talking about this is going to be a deep playoff run, boss, because we had the horses. We had the horses I felt in place. We had the good defense I felt in place. We just had to see how it was going to go with the system. We had the offensive players in place when you got a CD Lamb, and even when you lost a Blade, we thought this was going to be a strong playoff team, a team that could get deep in the playoffs with the team we had. We didn't think these injuries, but even with these injuries, boss, you see the offensive line. You win the game in the trenches. The offensive line is stepping up. You still had all the weapons, even if you didn't have a Dak Prescott. You had Amari. You still had CD, who's turning up. You still have Gallup. Dalton Schultz has shown that he can play a little bit at that number one and can be the solid number two. You still got Zeke. You still got Pollard. You still got a lot of the foundation, and you got an Andy Dalton who, when you saw he got some protection, he could win a game.
He can win a game.
So
and he has some super ugly balls, but
mhm.
he has some great balls, right? So yeah, he can win you a game if you protect him. He can. And my hats off to McCarthy. My hats off to Kellen Moore.
Mhm.
I mean, the best creative play was the Zeke option, man, in the red zone. Ooh, I say, boy, yeah. So yeah, hats off, man. They calling hellified games. They go up tempo all of a sudden, man. Catch a defense off guard, man. We seeing some good football right now. Now, going back to your point is, I don't think we're going to do anything in terms of winning the Super Bowl with Andy Dalton because
Mhm.
what you're asking us to do, and that is not being consistent on how I analyze. So I look at past very heavily as predictor indications. That's
Mhm.
one of the things I do, right? So you can't look at Andy Dalton with going 0-4 in his career in the playoffs and 1 touchdown to 7 interceptions when the biggest games are on the line and just think that he's go catch lightning fire, which would have to happen and likely will be playing on the road.
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna ever go outside of sound logic, right? So for those division people saying now we're talking about division, it's like really it was no reason to even talk about division because everybody in the division was garbage.
Right.
You know, the Redskins, y'all was going through a juggling that act at quarterback. You finally got lucky and put Alex Smith back in there. It might make you stable, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
now you finally getting interesting. Or you was something to yawn at forever, right? And before Alex Smith, right? Then we know Carson Wentz is in super regression mode. Look like he's a wounded mutt. Like literally, he
Mhm.
looked like a wounded dog. Like he couldn't handle even a tenth of what that go through in terms of criticism. He's seen like he's just totally tanking under the pressure of having to respond, having all those weapons added to him. He's just
Mhm.
crumbling, right? So
Mhm.
it was really no need to talk about the division, you know? So we really in a real catch 22, but most of us want to win over we want that draft pick.
I
You know,
mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
like so when you start seeing a window of even some hope, most of us gonna start leaning on hope, but don't ask any of us to lean on delusion, you know. And so as the season continue to play out, we go just call the chess pieces and the game board how it's laid. And right now it's laid to where we still might win this division and go from a top 8 pick to a mid round pick. But if we are competitive and continue to play great competitive football, I even stomach that and say, okay, we'll pick in the middle.
Yeah, for real. Let me give a shout out to my dog, the ninja, with the $5 holla. Hey ho, he said, let's get them likes up, man. 40 in the feed and only 10 likes, man. Yeah, get them damn likes up. If you're in the feed and you're talking and conversating, man, put that damn like button. It don't hurt you to hit that damn button. Hit it, smash it, do all the damn things you got to do. Smash, smash, smash. But let me give a shout out right quick, boss, to some people that just jumped in the building, some of my members, some things of that nature. And I'm going to bounce off you. My dog Winks jumped in, ready, red, 43 flex, Mel Hayes, Being as Simple, the ninja, my dog. Boo Thang jumped in there. Tracy Watson, how's everybody? Appreciate you. 43 Flex, X Brown. Keep on coming. Also, my girl, Katina Wright, love you for life. Good to see you again. But just bouncing off of that, boss, I'm totally a fan. But you know what's big to me when we were talking about the adjustments, people were saying, well, damn, you know what? It took them 10 weeks to remove Terrence Steele. It took them blah, blah, blah. Why didn't they see that? We all seen this. And that's where I believe we were frustrated. But this is where I will say I'm not frustrated. At least they did it. Better late than never. You get what I'm saying? Because we have been talking about how the last staff never made changes. It never made in-game changes. It never made in-game situation changes. It never made, okay, we're losing in the first half. Make some damn adjustments in the second half, and so we can win the game. And what we're always screaming about, they're not making the adjustments on the team. They're not making the changes. Why don't they remove this guy or give this guy a chance? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
But now we've seen, that's the one thing I will say McCarthy does, I feel like, have some pull balls, because I feel like Jason Garrett didn't have that pull because he ain't win nothing. He came in on nothing. He came in as a receivers coach or quarterbacks coach, and then was an offensive coordinator, and then became the head coach. You get what I'm saying? He never won no playoff games. He never took no team to no playoff nothing. And so with Mike McCarthy being able to have that on his repertoire, I feel like maybe that's why they back off just a little bit. And so that's why you see a Poe, Everson Griffin, and Daryl Worley got cut and traded. And then you saw Darian Thompson get benched. You finally seen our dog Wilson, Donovan Wilson. We've seen Terrence Steele finally sit down. We've seen the shuffle, Connor McGovern. We've seen Tyler Biadasz jump in the game. We've seen the shuffle along the line. We've seen Mike Nolan, who was up top in the booth, come down on the field so he could relate with the players. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
and we was calling for that. We was really angry about that.
Angry about that.
For his head over
right,
that.
right.
But they did it. They made the change. But
right,
keep going. I was enjoying it.
So all those things has really got me excited, because that at least they did it. They seen it. They said, okay, well, let's go ahead and make this adjustment and let's make it work. And the adjustments they have made, I believe, has made the team play better. When you removed a Dontaire Poe, now you got your young houses in there. Antoine Woods is playing better. Your defensive line is playing better. You got a Daryl Worley out there. Now people are getting cooked long 50, 60-yard bombs. You sat Darian Thompson down. Now you put in a Donovan Wilson finally. Now you see that stability a little bit starting in that back end on the secondary as far as the safety goes. Now you've seen some stability on the line when you kicked out Zach Martin. They said they're going to evaluate going forward. But once again, Connor McGovern, when he's played 2 significant games, actually played 3 significant games, but his last 2, boss, Washington, which I said he played very well, and I said I knew he could do it. That's why I was frustrated, boss. He didn't play in that Philly game. That's why I got mad, because if you would have kept Connor McGovern in that Philly game going against Fletcher Cox and you kicked out of Zach Martin at right tackle, maybe it would have been a little bit different as well, because I said McGovern can handle those big boys. He showed it again. Now, it's not the same defensive line, boss, Minnesota had before. They didn't have Danielle Hunter. They didn't have Anthony Barr. They didn't have a Linville Joseph. They don't have the guys they used to. But at the same token, Connor McGovern had 2 straight games of clean. No pressures, no hurries, no hits, no nothing, no sacks. That's what you get excited for, that the staff is seeing this at least and is making the changes. And look at us now. We can beat Washington. We said we can beat Minnesota. We can beat every team that we are playing. It's not nobody getting hyped. We knew we could beat them before, didn't we? We knew we could beat these teams before with Dak Prescott. So it's not like we didn't think we could do it, boss. Now we got some stability on the offensive line. Now you got the defense is playing better, and you look at the schedule. We looking at the schedule and saying, yeah, you can definitely run the table with this team.
Yeah, it's gonna be some hard fought games. Um, I want to kind of echo some of the things because the thing about you as a podcaster and me as a podcaster, especially with a new coach, we learning them. We knew Jason Garrett, but we learning McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a fact, right? So it's some key things that you said. I want to echo just a little bit, but say it
Mm-hmm.
maybe a little bit different.
Okay.
You write so much on almost, I would say we were scorned as fans from watching people that we knew should have been pulled, right? And they
Mm-hmm.
continue under the Jason Garrett era, they would get like 9 lives. Where you go get a chance under this regime, but they go keep you on a short leash if you're not performing. You know, so you name some big boys. But one thing I would say I learned about the Joneses, they don't make changes into 8 week segments.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you see they're gonna make their changes in 8 week segments. So they did the exact same thing when they was experimenting with receiver by committee. Now everybody knew it was stinking, right? Everybody. We was all calling for somebody to do something quick, but they waited 8 weeks. They waited. We was 3-5. It almost looked like the season was over. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when they got rid of the offensive line coach. That's when they went and got Amari, right? And then obviously they promoted Colombo, and
Mm-hmm.
we saw them then go 10-6.
Mm-hmm.
So the front office make their changes in 8 weeks. This coaching staff go give you about 3 bad games, and they
Mm-hmm.
pulling you,
Right.
you know. And like Zach Martin under the old regime, how like I used to vomit at our fans that used to give Jason Garrett a pass for never reshuffling the offensive line.
Right, dog.
That
Then
used to just piss me now. And then our fans treated you and me like we was stupid for
right.
looking outside and saying other teams reshuffle their best until they get it right.
Mm-hmm.
Right down the streets, the Saints do it every year. And
Mm-hmm.
they do it so well, they call it cross training those guys. So when you see McCarthy say, shit, I I don't know about that old philosophy of where we never move these guys. How
Mm-hmm.
long was we calling for at a time Liel to play guard,
Mm-hmm.
left guard?
Mm-hmm.
And people would treat, oh, big game, shut up. He needs to stay right here and develop at tackle. Look, we just saw Zach Martin move to tackle, a guy that's been there for years. And guess what? Because he's just that good. Now, is he the best tackle in the league? No. But is he a solid starter? Hell yes.
Mm-hmm.
And they made the move. Another thing, Donovan Wilson. Like we saw Woods missing epic tackles all last year to the point Big Game James said, Broaders, I get a chance to talk to you. What's going on next year? How do you just say when a guy is playing bad, we go still just make this other guy go the whole year on special teams? They not doing that. Reggie Robinson got him a lot of snaps. Why? We
Rashard
said,
Robinson.
yeah, Reggie Robinson got him a lot of snaps at corner. Why? Because we said once we start seeing that defense improve, we said it's obvious now who the person that's the liability. We said Anthony Brown. All of a sudden, this game, a rotation. They trying to figure it out. So we seeing, to your point, the silver lining for sure, where you can see coaching improvement for sure, is our ability to make changes that are common sense changes that make us win. So I said all that to say this. We knew Jason Garrett, but what McCarthy continues to do from the draft until now is exercise common damn sense. And even with us still in the fight, I feel good about that.
Yeah, I feel good about that as well. I got a question from, is it Kenny Bush? He says, big game, James. How do you see the game playing out tomorrow? Lower scoring defense or high scoring offensive game? I'm going to say a mid-scoring game. I'm going to
Yeah,
say it's about that 20-17 type game, 21-17. I don't think Alex Smith is going to be devastating. I still look at that injury with that leg. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Antonio Gibson, he's a rookie. He's had a good year, but he ain't nobody that's devastating. I know he ran for 120 yards against us last time, but that was a different team. This is not the same team that the Washington team played before, and the defense I feel is going to give a better performance. I'm not really scared of their offense. I know they got Scary Terry, but at the end of the day, I think they're offensively challenged, even with Alex Smith throwing for like over 300 some yards last week. So I feel like it's going to be a 21 to maybe like 17 type game. I think the defense can get some turnovers in this game, just like it has been. Because check this out, boss. The last 3 games, what has happened for that defense? Turnovers. Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? Defenses play better. What have we been screaming about this defense since last year or since years past? We cannot get turnovers. And if you don't get turnovers, you don't win games. And also, boss, what else are we talking about? Field position. We were saying this at the beginning of the season when we were doing our shows together. We were saying the Cowboys can't keep starting at the 20-yard line, the 23-yard line. That was their average yard when they started. Their average drive was at the 23-yard line. Okay. So
Right.
we needed the defense to not have the offense go 10 to 15 plays every time to score on a touchdown. Now you're seeing the defense getting turnovers, which we've been screaming about. Now you see the change. The defense got turnovers 3 straight games. And guess what? Better field position, quick strike scores. Now you're back in the game. You have to work hand in hand, and it looks like the team is starting to finally do that. And guess what? We also said, boss, that the defense wasn't going to be probably caught up to the offense at the beginning of the season. Okay, because you were doing with a whole new implement of a defense. You were doing multiple fronts. You was coming with different personnel. So now it looks like now, and also one more thing, boss, with Mike Nolan, players were like, "Hey, we need to simplify this just a little bit. Let's put us in better positions." Now you see D. Law. Do you see him standing up as much now?
No,
You
no.
see what I'm saying?
And I think he healthy too.
Yeah, he's
Straight up.
definitely yeah, he's definitely healthy. But looks like they're putting in the position players in the best position to succeed. So you have to give kudos to the staff. Me and you both were talking about Mike Nolan. Hey, we can get rid of him if you want to. I don't care. You can keep him or you can get rid of him. But we got to give some kind of credit, even like we talked last week to Mike Nolan, that he has made the adjustments and helped make this defense better.
Yeah, facts. And I wrote down a couple of things that been on my heart. It's been on
Mhm.
my heart, brother. It's been on my heart.
Okay.
It's a couple of things that philosophy wise, I want us as a fan base as well and a front office to throw away. One thing I want them to throw away is no more 6-1 standards on their secondary players. Don't judge like that anymore. Because this 6-1 standard for your best secondary players has been a failure, right?
Mhm.
So I say that we should go back to the days of judging athletes more so based on what they do on the field performance wise over their measurable potential.
Mhm.
You know, obviously you use measurables to a degree as a I would say a boundary. Like if you got a guy that's covered and he runs a 4.8, that's a boundary, right?
Mhm.
It's like it's just impossible to make up for that. But at the same time, it's nothing like good film. And it's nothing like guys who consistently perform better when the pressure's on. So shout out to my boy Jordan Lewis. You know, Thielen was killing them boys, right?
Mhm.
Is one guy wasn't getting no action all day on good receivers. My boy Jordan Lewis. And we both said this. We know with this secondary, they're going to lose, right?
Mhm.
I think a fair expectation is to at least be 50-50 in your matchups or better, right? And we can say Anthony Brown was not 50-50. He was more so 90-10, right? Like he
Mhm.
was pretty much automatic every time they targeted, right?
Mhm.
I would say Reggie Robinson was more 50-50. You know,
Rashard Robinson.
I'm sorry, Rashard Robinson. He was more 50-50. So
Mhm.
thank you for correction. And
Okay.
give him more of an opportunity. Stop going with these predetermined ideas of what a starter is and let the field speak more, in my opinion. Another thing, No more money making starters. We start Andy Dalton because we paid him X. We want to start Anthony Brown because we paid him Y. What does the field say? We saw Gilbert, right? We saw Andy Dalton. I still say we got a better chance of winning with the other quarterback. So there's a couple of philosophies. Honestly, man, I want us to fully abandon. Because didn't 6-1 seem sexy this offseason? Look at all these big guys we got.
Mm-hmm.
But it was only to where they shook something out that the secondary started playing better.
Right.
You got a shorter Donovan Wilson, but you got a better player, right? You got a shorter Jordan Lewis, but you got a better player than the guy we let go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want us to learn these things again, and I don't want us to even go back to those thoughts because it's like film has now killed that theory. You know, don't go into this draft and don't go into this offseason like we need big corners or we paid him. Perfect example. Poe versus Antoine Woods. Perfect example. Because we paid Poe, we gave Poe all those snaps to get just pancaked. And it was until we said, you know what? These young guys, Antoine Woods was steady in the run game for years now. Is he the absolute best DT? No. But is he going to hold the point of attack? Great. Yes. Is he going to command doubles and hold it? Yes. Is he a killer penetrator? No. Is he the best run stopper ever? No. Is he a great upgrade over Poe? Yes, and always was.
And so is Gallimore, and so is Justin Hamilton, and even that new guy, Eco or something that they got from the Chiefs, number 95, I believe. He got a few snaps. So, like you said, addition by subtraction, and don't always follow the salary because the Joneses do love to
Yeah,
start people or
they
love to
love it.
play people. But because according to their salary is going to keep them on the field, and other people are not going to play because that salary is dictating. Keep it real. Maybe that's the reason why Andy Dalton came back and started, because follow the
We
money.
paid
You
him.
should always follow the money with the most players,
Joneses.
and it's definitely with the Joneses.
Mm-hmm.
Follow the money. With that, now I got a question for my guy Raymond Colazzo. Shout out to you, Raymond. Love you for life. He says, how do y'all feel about our linebackers going forward? Seems like LVE is improving and like Jalen is still struggling. Um, me personally, I agree with LV. He played a great game against the Vikings. 12 tackles. That play he met, I believe Dalvin Cook in the hole, stoned him. That's what you want to see from your Mike linebacker, the physicality, because sometimes I don't know if Van Der Esch is the most physical guy
No.
because he's so athletic.
Yeah, he athletic.
He's athletic, but he's not super
Long.
physical.
Freak.
So that's what I'm good to see, that him getting physical. Jalen, I think to this point now, Jalen is Jalen. You know what I'm saying? It's like Jalen is just Jalen. I mean, that's what he can do. What you see is what he's doing. I
Right.
feel like you definitely can upgrade. But right now, the fact that they got Sean Lee on the field, and he only had like one tackle. But the biggest thing that we talked about, boss, or at least I said in my opinion,
IQ.
was that brain.
Yep.
We have the brain on the field,
Yep.
and that is what's making the more stability on the defense now. Sean Lee doesn't have to make 20 tackles, but guess what? He's not out because of the hernia. So you have mentioned it. He's on the field now. He couldn't be on the field. He couldn't be with the players, so he couldn't talk to those guys on the field and see the in-game adjustments. It was all on Jalen Smith or even an LVE, and this was his first time switching over at the mic. You feel me?
Yep.
Now you got a Sean Lee back in there, and the defense has calmed down, because now when they get off the field, Sean Lee can look at the paperwork and say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we're looking at. Watch for this, because that should be our next defensive coordinator. That's another story I've been talking about, but a lot of people have, but that's who should be our next coordinator.
Man.
But I believe that's why the linebackers are playing better, because he has come. And I've been the guy that said, get Sean Lee the hell out of here, because he's the good old guy. You know what I'm saying? Get him the hell out of here. He should have been a coach last year, but he's settling down the defense, so I'm cool.
Man, I got to put my hands up on them good sermons, brother. Man, I love podcasts with cats who just obviously know these bars, because he gonna make a hell of a coach, bro. He gonna be the Kellen Moore of a defense. He has the excitement, the energy. I watched him coach. Anybody that watched that documentary they did on Dallas, I forgot what called Above the something. I forgot, but the documentary
Mm-hmm.
about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Man, watching Sean Lee prepare that defense was like, oh my God, it
Mm-hmm.
was beautiful. And he was asking them all the indicators, and I'm a teacher, like not a literal teacher. Now I'm not a certified teacher, but I teach. That's a gift of mine for sure, right? And one of the things that I was taught to do when you're trying to really make it make sense is you ask questions. And he was using what we call the Socraterian method. And in that method, they ask you questions to make it really sink in. And he was doing all of that. And I love the fact that while he was injured, he was coaching the hell out them linebackers, man. That showed me how unselfish he is. So don't get me too excited about his future with us, because he definitely needs to keep a headset on or something. But speaking on linebacker, so linebacker is something that's always been a concern for, I know, at least me and you for sure. But it's so refreshing to see LVE out there. I was super concerned about his neck. I'm still concerned about it, because that type of injury can happen at any time. I still believe we need great insurance at that position. I still don't think that we have enough depth at that position and quality depth at that position. It's good when it's healthy, but it's something that I want us to improve on. In terms of Jalen still diagnoses plays to me slower than a really great quarterback. I think I'm going to be patient with him, though, because just like some people, it take them a while for the game to slow down. And we talked about this last week. You got guys that it took them literally 4 years before they hit the corner. For example, the guy that everybody fell in love with last year, the corner, Byron Jones. It was year 4 when we finally fell in love with Byron Jones. So I give him more time, just a little bit more time, but I'm not out on Jalen. I think he's a great athlete. I think once the game slow down and he start diagnosing better, and play recognizing better, and that middle is holding up a lot better, so it's helping him. So you don't have a lot of guards that's leaking off to the second level, taking him out. So he's playing better, but I think we're a little bit impatient as a fan base. I say give Jalen a little bit more time. He's still a great athlete. This is the first year really of his contract. I'm not ready to fire these guys when we just invested into them. It's the same things we saying about Cooper, same thing we say about Zeke. We want to fire we
No,
want to
you can do
fire
it.
everybody, man. It's like calm down, bro. Like, this is a young team still. These guys are in the first years of their contract. Cooper, Zeke, and Dak, or the second at most. Like, stop trying to fire these guys. We don't win Super Bowls by budget space. That's not what you want, the players. And I don't want to get rid of anybody unless I know a quality replacement is in the building, or the depth in the offseason is rich in that area where we're saying we want to get rid of guys. So I'm not even open at all to firing any one of these guys except Sean Lee, just because his age. And it's just been time. It's honestly been time. And I want a headset on him.
Yeah, he need a headset with Dallas. Shout out to some people that jumped in the building. Voch Lombardi, shout out to you, dog. Miss Scotty and Prost. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Voch in here running his mouth. Yeah, you got lucky as hell, dog. You know what I'm saying? I don't do the fantasy football thing, but I was on that ass. Okay, you got lucky. And I'm just going to say it. You got lucky. I don't care what you say. Nobody thought some damn Taysom Hill was going to do anything that he did. So, but kudos to you for picking him. You got lucky with playing with the Browns played Carson Wentz, who's playing like garbage. Browns go defense, go nutty, but I still was on that ass, dog. I had you, dog.
Mm-hmm.
But then Kirk Cousins threw that long ass touchdown to Justin Jefferson, dog, and that kind of put you over the top, because I was on that ass, because you seen Derek Carr and you see what my guys was doing. But you know what? I'm banging. I'm still in it. You still got 2 games left, and you playing law at the end. I'm going to just wish some voodoo on you that you take 2 L's. I come in and win, and then we're going to see me getting the belt. So, hey.
Yes, indeed. What's up with it, Voch?
Yeah, but just like we were talking about with Jalen, I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to say about Jalen Smith. That was a Jerry Jones pick. He ain't going nowhere. So I don't know why we always talking about him. But I don't know why they brought it up like, oh, they're going to cut him and do all that. Not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones jumped out there and picked Jalen Smith. Jerry Jones just said, this dude is a cornerstone of our team last week or a week and a half ago. Now, you really think they're going to cut him when Jerry Jones jumped out there and said all that? Nah, they ain't cutting him. And that's his pick. And it's a marketable pick. It's a guy. He got the clear eye view. You can market Jalen. So he ain't getting cut, dog. And at the end of the day,
Super was team friendly.
I know. I mean, if you look at it, I think he's like the 18th
Compared
or
to other
19th.
linebackers, man, this what pissed me off, bro. Like, listen, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. Now, everybody was on his team when he took the team-friendly deal, and they used him for leverage against the other three that was waiting. Remember when they paid him, Zeke was waiting, Dak was waiting, and Cooper was waiting. And he said, you know what? I'm gonna be team friendly. I want to be a Cowboy for life. And we all praised him. Then when the DT play is trash, you blame the linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
The first people that's gonna get punished from trash DT play is gonna be the linebackers. They gonna suffer more than the DTs. Straight up, because the running backs and the linemen is downhill on it. It's just how it is. Listen, man. Listen, I remember too much. Like, that's what pissed me off. It's like, no, don't praise him when he team friendly, then piss on him when it's not even really his game. Like, yeah, you got to improve. Yes, you got to improve. You got to diagnose better. You do. Yes. So don't think I'm over here just co-signing and giving him a clear pass.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, man, I just want our fans to stop trying to fire everybody. Like, at least look at it from the whole viewpoint. Like he playing better too. Like, he a part of that defense we seeing that's better. He is. Now, do we want to improve? Yeah, but and I want to go back to one more thing that was brought up. Just one more thing real quick. This matchup tomorrow. One thing you said, bro, because you speak fast, I think people got to catch you sometime. This a different team, bro. This is a whole different chess match that we getting ready to see tomorrow. This is a game that is hard for me to call who go win, to be honest. This game tomorrow already has epic playoff indications, bro.
We're beating Washington, dog.
I can see it, but it's gonna be a dog.
It is gonna be a dog fight. I mean, because it's Washington. I don't care what anybody says. It's still Washington. It's still Washington, and they're gonna play us. Washington plays us hard all the damn time. It doesn't matter what it is. Washington is always going to play us hard. But I feel like hopefully with Mike McCarthy doing, the smashing the smashing of the watermelons, whatever. I don't even want to mention that, dog.
People would think that too crazy. I don't even want to go into
it. You feel me, dog? We seen the motivation, whatever. Yeah, they play better, right?
Yeah, they play better.
I feel like you need to watch some tape of that Washington game. If you're going to use that type of motivation in that Minnesota game, you need to turn on all that tape in that Washington game, and you need to show where Gibson ran all over that defense. You need to show where Andy Dalton got hit again, and on the screen. You need to show how they basically out-physical us, basically manhandled us. My guy Wink in here mentioned Logan Thomas. I said he was going to do some work, and he didn't. He ain't even sweet. But you get what I'm saying? We have players out there looking good. That damn, who was the quarterback? Kelly used to play with the Carolina Panthers. Man, dog, there ain't nobody scared of him, and he come in there playing good. Like, they need to look at that tape one more time and say, take this one personal, and not bring that performance. But I don't think they are. I think they are going to play better. I think the defense is going to play better, and I feel like we're going to have another good rushing game. And once again, we should be getting excited about Kellen Moore, dog, because I feel like he's still continuing to grow. He caught a great game in this game against Minnesota, and he's continuing to get better. And I think him and Mike McCarthy are working hand in hand with that play call. And maybe Mike McCarthy is putting his hand or sprinkling his hand near it when he gets near that red zone. I don't know, because that was a great play call with that Dalton Schultz play. But I'm just getting excited because I think Kellen Moore is going to continue to grow as a play call, and I'd like to see what kind of game he's going to call against these Washington team, especially when Tony Pollard is not getting a lot of carries, averaging 7 carries a game, but in this last 3 games, boss, he is averaging about 7.5 yards a carry, and he's bringing that explosiveness to the offense. And as long as that offensive line continues to protect, I like our chances, boss. You still there? I said as long as this offensive line protects this season, I like our chances for real. Because look, you're playing Washington, you can beat them. You're playing Baltimore. We understand Baltimore has a good defense. They got a good running game, but they're beatable. Lamar Jackson, yes, they are. They're beatable. Cincinnati, he gonna give us hell. He probably he gonna give us hell, but they can still
good against them.
We can still beat them. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you got Cincinnati, who just lost Joe Burrow. I was thinking they could compete, but that should be a W. San Francisco is super injured as well. They're not impressive. And then you still got Philadelphia. We already know we can beat them. And then you got the Giants at the end of the season. It's going to be tough, but it's a winnable game. So when you look at the schedule, all these games are winnable if this line blocks, gives Andy time, you run the ball good, and this defense makes those timely plays and maybe get some turnovers. You can really run the table in this division. Ain't nobody hyping the team up, but it's just the truth when you look at it.
Yeah, it's the facts. And then another thing, going back to this game, Alex Smith is greatly underrated, and I always have been. Like he is, but see, there are certain stigmas that get stuck on you like a tattoo that's not actually smart. Like people that say stuff like Dak is average. See, now you sound dumb.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been said so long, some people literally tattooed that thought as if it's a fact into their subconscious. So it doesn't matter if Dak was on pace for the all-time most yards of all time in NFL history, you still go see average because you heard that so much it got tattooed on your subconscious. And you the type, not you obviously Big James, but those types, they don't have the mental strength to be independent. So
who gives that hell about them types?
The reason why I was talking about those types is because of Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at Alex Smith really and study him in terms of how many wins they usually come with him, he's a winner. And the thing that they knock him for is the same thing they was knocking Dak for when we won 13 games. He's just a game manager. I mean, Bill Parcells is one of the most, definitely top 10 coaches in NFL history. Definitely top 20 for sure. One of the most important things he said to a quarterback is his ability to manage games. So when you look at why we was winning so many games in 13, were they exciting? No. But were we winning with boring old ball protection and safe throws? Yes. So Alex Smith is super underrated, and that's why I think this is game goes shape our destiny. Like for real, like this game right here goes shape where we draft, whether we go be top 10 or whether we go be in the middle. Where we pick top 10 go be the players we pick. This is a game. The game tomorrow is about what is destiny finna be for the Cowboys. But in terms of your bigger point of can we roll this roll out? Yeah. Like we really could roll out everybody else based on just the current adjustments we've already made.
Yeah, and you know what else? Hold on one second, quick. Just like I said, just looking at this team, the way it's built right now, like I said, I'm not looking at like no playoff run or anything like that. If it happens, it happens. But here's the thing: when they're talking about that draft status, everybody, I hear some people when they're talking about that team tank or what the hell ever, or that, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I don't care about it. That's great to get a high pick because you would have a high pick all through the draft, and so you'll get the top half of the players. That's great. But when I look at it like this, is that what did Dallas draft this year? They drafted 19th, right? Who did they get? CeeDee Lamb. They drafted in the second round. Who'd they get? Trevin Diggs. They drafted in the third round. Who'd they get? Gallimore. Fourth round, Biadish. You know what I'm saying? So you love to have the top pick, But at the end of the day, even with the mid-level pick, with Dallas winning, Dallas still had a damn good draft last year, right? This
Yep.
2020 draft is looking pretty good for Dallas Cowboys, isn't it? 2019 was suspect, but even then, when you look at how they picked in the 2019 draft, it was still mid-level, and the players on there now, you got Pollard, who was showing, you got McGovern, who's showing that he was worthy. Tristan Hill was looking okay until he got hurt. So you had players on the team that are starting to produce. So it didn't matter if it was, yeah, you love to have a great top 5 pick, but even when you picked in that middle rounds, you still got some damn good players. So it's okay. So the biggest thing for me with this is the winning attitude, boss. What were we
I've
saying?
been seeing that.
People were calling for Mike McCarthy's head. People were calling for Mike Nolan's head. People were saying fire him, fire that. Just like you were talking about the players, they were talking about firing the coaches. He said, "Wait, relax, hold on, let these guys get them their feet under them because this is what you want to see, boss. Even if they don't go far or even go to the playoffs, what you want to see is that all this adversity, with all these injuries and all this adversity, Dallas fought. They kept fighting. They fought for their coach. That's what you wanted to see, right? You didn't want to see them laying down. Would you be feeling good for Mike McCarthy in the future if the team was still playing like trash right now?
Yeah, I mean, so your bigger point is draft picks because it's still a debate on that. It's people that's upset that we won, like
Yeah,
because they
that's
wanted the
dumb.
draft pick. So the first thing I want to clarify is no thought on that is wrong. Anybody that want us to win for a chance of a Super Bowl this year, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to think that or believe that. Okay. I don't subscribe to that with Andy Dalton, but anything can happen on the year of COVID. This is 2020. We could even win a Super Bowl. Is that crazy of a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people not wrong for wanting that draft pick at all, right? Because we know from the 90s that it was the draft that put us into all those Super Bowls, you know. So there, I want to squash the thought that you're not a real fan if you want us to tank, because you're still a real fan. Also, you still a real fan if you want us to win out. There is no fan in either one of those thoughts that's realer than the other. You know, because the goal of people that want the draft pick is because they want the better players to what? Win. So everybody both got winning on their mind at the end of the day, right? On whichever way you want to go. So I just want to definitely squash that thought because I see too much bickering between us as if one fan is more authentic because I don't quit on my team. I
Yeah,
never quit.
yeah, yeah,
I'm the
yeah.
hard cowboy.
Yeah.
You
And
ain't gonna
that's what the trolls were doing too. They were saying that them trolls, them Philly guys, yeah, y'all trolls. I'm calling y'all now. When we do our next show, I'm gonna say it when we do our show. But that's what they were saying. Oh, look at you guys. When they were saying, did you want to win the division? We're like, shit, with the way his team's playing, it really don't matter. Like, I don't try and worry about the division because you ain't winning nothing. Like
right.
people act like if you win the division, that's a freaking cartwheel, or you want a cookie because you won the
No,
damn
that ain't the
division. What
goal.
the what
Not
the
from a
hell?
real
I
fan. When
mean,
you
when
won
you
a
when
division, you don't
yo,
get no trophy for
I,
that.
I mean, you don't get no damn trophy. You just all it does is shows the stat that you have one more year that you won the NFC championship. But so what? You won the NFC East. If you ain't do shit in the playoffs, nobody gives a hell about that shit.
At
So.
all.
So
Like,
so when these Eagles fans, when I was talking, they got on my nerves with that shit. When they was talking about, oh, look at y'all got the loser mentality. Your team ain't winning, you don't want to win the division. You got the loser. Shut the hell up. Ain't nobody got no damn loser mentality, dog. We're not playing good in this. And if you don't really think the team is going anywhere, now you're talking about you want to capture the division. Ooh, you won the NFC East. Wow. But you got spanked in the first round of the freaking playoffs. Man, nobody cares, dog. Does anybody care you won the East last year and you got spanked in the first round of the damn playoffs?
and
No.
see, our
Only thing
fans
they'll remember is that your ass got spanked in the first round of playoffs, not that you won the NFC East.
and our fans are a high level thinking fan group, man. That's just what the facts are. We like most fan bases are in elementary where we taking physics in college. That's how the average Cowboy fan is. So we thinking 2 and 3 and 4 years down the line. Like you can't be a podcaster in this game and be a shallow thinker. You know what I mean? So all those division people that saying that they always know they really just chasing Dallas Shadow. But until your point, also at picking 17 versus picking top 10, at the end of the day, it's about the talent of the evaluating team, right? Because, like for instance, I had Jefferson as my number one receiver in out of all the receivers. I got laughed at.
Mm-hmm.
the whole offseason because everybody had the other three over him. And but that's not to pat myself on the back because honestly, I'm gonna say it like this, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. You could have put any four of them in this offense, and they all would have got 1,000.
Just
That's
imagine what Lamb, just imagine what Lamb would be doing if he still had a Dak Prescott, dog.
yeah,
He
yeah,
already broke the rookie record
right,
in receptions, dog. He'd have been really turning up and going
yeah,
ridiculous. But
yeah,
like I said, it gets you excited for the future. And you still got a Noah Brown who is playing okay. You still got a
yeah,
Cedric Wilson who
playing good.
is a good player. So I like where it's headed, and I like to see where we're going forward.
But I'm gonna say one thing because I'm gonna keep beating this drum, and you're gonna likely hear me beat it all offseason depending on where we picking.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, the more and more I do my homework, because I'm deep in homework now. I'm super deep, right? On off season stuff. We better pick Chase if we're in that top five.
We better pick who? Oh
Chase.
Lord. There you go.
Cause see, man, I done already finished the corners, bro. I'm talking about I done finished them. Ain't no corner worth him, bro. It's and everybody talking
I
about
don't think
Virginia.
we're gonna. I don't think we're gonna be a top 5 pick now.
Me too. But if we top 7, where he still might be, we better. We better. I don't care about none of these corners over him. I don't watch the whole
Or a
games
tackle.
on them.
You don't care about tackle.
I don't think no tackle go be worth it. Except no tackle go be worth it.
So
And
you trying to say that
I
2L
think
tackle ain't worth it?
he's the most responsible. But like, see, this is the thing, and I'm gonna say this depending on where we picking. This is my case on it. If you picking top 5 and you got even one butt, they don't belong in the top 5. So, for instance, I like Sullivan, but his long speed is a question. Take him out your top 5, in my opinion, right? I like the Virginia Tech corner, but the level of competition, take him out your top 5 because you can't really just cross that. You can't check that box, right? I like the Oregon tackle, but I really can't see him against the best rushers in college. Take him up. Well, you might not take him off your top 5
You ain't
because he
taking him
that
out of top
freakish.
5.
He that freakish, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's no butts on Chase. Big games, right? Big division, right? Dominated all the first round corners of last year, right? I'm sorry. And my comp on him, bro, go and laugh. Sterling Sharp. Don't pass on that. And I'm gonna say it like this, and this is when everybody go feel me. If you could rewind time and you had Greg Ellis and Randy Moss sitting right there, even though we needed DT, what would you do?
Yeah.
You putting Randy Moss on the Dallas Cowboys if you pick him. And he would develop into one of the best number ones, period. Because he would be a disciple. And that model works 95% of the time. When you come in as cold as he is and the number 2 and they wing you in slowly, you come out a monster.
Yeah, I hear you. I ain't trying to do that.
You do me like that every week, bro. I'm gonna talk you into it. Before...
No, you're not.
So you would have picked Greg Ellis?
No. I would have went with I'm talking about just Jamar Chase. I'm not on that. I know he's nasty, but I ain't on that.
Okay.
I'm a defensive guy, dog.
I get it.
You feel me? I want
So you going Sullivan over him?
No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. You understand? I'm not going to just draft a guy high just because I feel like I
need
like
defense, right?
I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm BPA all day too, but I just say I'd rather not go that route and get in another receiver because I just feel like we are a player or two away on that defense from really being super, super solid. Lawrence is nasty, but like I said, if we could just get that dynamic safety, dog. Now you got us. We were hyped up about Woods, right? Well, I was. A lot of people were hyped about Woods, right? He's a 6th round pick. So my guy Dalton Miller, who was on the show last week, he was saying that when you look at a guy, and I agree, he was a 6th round pick for a reason. So when he plays a certain way, we can't be like, damn, see, blah blah blah.
Right,
He was
right.
a 6th round pick. That's why he was picked in the 6th round, because of those warts. So we can't expect too much out of him for real, right, boss? Because he was drafted in the 6th round. So we can't expect 1st round playing ability or 2nd round playing ability because he was drafted in the 6th round. So you can't expect it. If you get it, boss, you're feeling like, damn, we drafted a gem, right?
Right.
Because nobody else saw that. That's what you're thinking. So now you have a Donovan Wilson who was what? A 6th round draft pick. So as much as I like how he's playing, and I liked him out of college, I made a video of him over the summer. I said he needs to play. I asked Hellman Broadus, I said they need to get him on the field. But
Yep.
guess what? He's still a 6th round pick, and I still need to see more of him. I'm not crowning him because I jumped the gun a little bit, feeling good about Woods, and guess what? He tapered out. So I'm not going to go nutty about the Donovan Wilson. I'm super excited, but now I don't want to crown him. But what I will say is, from what I've seen of him, if you can get one of them dynamic free safeties, because Wilson can play both. He's played snaps on both free and strong, but I like him at the strong because he can tackle and lay the wood. If you get a dynamic free safety with them, I'm feeling good on that back end because you already got a Diggs, right? You already got Diggs. Maybe you see something in Robinson if he ever plays. Maybe he could be the guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. You still have other guys in flux. If you got that dog D tackle, because we see Woods is to me, a great backup at the 1 tech. Now you have a Gallimore and you have a Tristan Hill at your 3. And you brought a Rondale Carter back. So, and you still have D-Law on maybe another couple of years. You have Alden Smith, who you possibly could sign, Randy Gregory, who you could sign low and get a deal. If you got a dog defensive tackle that can not only command a double team, but could push the pocket and pass rush, dog, that changes the whole outlook of the defense. So that's why I feel like we're a few players away. So maybe that's why I'm not jumping at Jamar Chase. Not saying I wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, like, I want to find a couple of those guys right there because I don't care. Defense, to me, is what wins championships, boss. The defense can carry everywhere you go. That offense ain't carry. Boss, you played the game, dog.
Yeah.
Offense don't carry every single game. Offense don't carry in mud sometimes. Offense don't carry in wind sometimes. Offense don't carry in rain sometimes. You feel me? But
Yeah.
that defense will always carry and go wherever you need it to go, and it will save you. And one of the reason why the offense played good, but how did we win that game against the Vikings? It was the defensive play at the end of the game that won it, right? So
Right.
we need to continue to have defense because the defense has played better, and that's why Cowboys are winning games now.
Yeah. And see, I was looking at safety, and I already pretty much completed my safety analysis for the offseason in terms of these draft picks. I done went through them all, right? The ones, and I already got my top 20 labeled. I know in this draft, if we focus on it within the first 3 rounds, easily we'll be able to get a quality starter over Xavier Woods. Um, I'm
Yeah,
I'm I'm
definitely.
at this point content, honestly, with Donovan Wilson because to me this is really almost like his rookie year because this is his first time really starting. So if he already playing in this level, he go take another year bump up next year. He will be even better. If anything, I want him to get that shoulder corrected. I want him to have off-season surgery. That's just me. I want him to get that out the way. That way, it won't even be a concern next year when he get that corrected. Because that safety using your shoulder too much, and he had a dislocated shoulder in college. That's gonna eventually come back on him. That's just how that injury is. It's not too many people that come back without ever dislocating it again. Because I had 2. I know how that worked.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do feel confident within the first 3 rounds that it'll be addressed. And from my analysis, and this is just where I am today. From my analysis and my research so far, looking at these draft picks, I'm not seeing nobody that's changing my mind on taking them out of that being the first pick based on where we are now. Not yet. Now, I am open to move down. I am because see, if you get somebody like a Chase, you go work him in, and he's gonna be very effective when you work him in. But it'll almost be like they're doing Isaiah Simmons right now with the Cardinals. He's second team. all that freaking talent,
He's balling now, though. He's
but
got
he's
in there.
balling.
He's got. They finally gave him significant snaps, and he's actually showing what he was real. Why they were excited about
Yeah,
him.
so that then he's a perfect example then of my vision of Chase. You see what I'm saying? To
But
where you're good, you
boss,
already real
if they were to
good.
get a Chase though, boss, they would have to get rid of one of those guys, Amari Cooper or Gallup or somebody. They would have to get rid of one of those guys.
Yeah,
Or you weren't re-signing. If you got a Jamar Chase dog, you're either trading a Coop or you're doing something. I
yeah,
get it
you
because
are.
that's just
And
too
then
many guys, and those the
it
guys are
gives
on
you
young
value.
deals.
It gives you value to be able to get an epic trade for those guys. Because I always talk about Marshall's picks, right? And a lot of times Marshall's picks, or when you shop at a department store, you're able to go to a place like Marshall's and every now and then come out there looking like Neiman Marcus because Neiman Marcus was overstocked at a certain position, so they needed to trade. Damn. You see what I'm saying? So it does give you a value next year. And if you're a team that need a receiver at trade deadline and you saying we are a receiver away from being a contender, you can go ahead and say, yeah, Gallup, bye. We're not gonna have to deal with you on the contract and fight over money. You know what I mean? Because you go definitely be worthy some good money when that.
He ain't number one worthy.
Yeah, exactly. See,
He's
we
not
already
number one.
having that fight, and he ain't even at that point of the discussion.
Yeah, he's
right?
not.
It's some people that'll fight you head to toe because they love Gallup. No, Gallup number one. No, I don't really think he's that Cooper type number one. No, because see, Cooper type of number one is a different type of number one. Gallup, he makes a lot of hard contested catches, but if you look at, you actually can measure their separation. The average separation on Cooper is still 2.6 and higher. The average separation on Gallup is not even close to that. So you got to throw a way better ball to Gallup than you have to do to Cooper. You see what I'm saying? Cooper gives you a lot of room for errors that can still make a play, in my opinion. So, yeah, but it gives us a chance to get an additional asset and still not have a drop off. You see what I'm saying? So if you get Chase and then by trade deadline next year, you say, yeah, we go unload Gallup, we'll get a first or second rounder probably. Remember the trade deadline is where a lot of teams get real stupid. Like they gave it, the Texans gave away 2 firsts for Tunsil.
Yeah, Tunsil's nice, but but Bill
2
O'Brien's
firsts.
but Bill O'Brien's proved to be dumb. So
Yeah,
that's why his ass is gone.
But then and we know, me and you know Jalen Ramsey good, but he ain't 2 first good. He not 2 first good. He is not 2 first good. No, he's not. I'm sorry. Jalen Ramsey is good, but no, he is not 2 first round is good. That's quarterback trading. So, like, to me, it give us options with Chase, like in terms of like what we can get some value because we always like to try to say, let's try to get a third for Jordan Lewis. That's not even realistic, but it's a team out there that might give you a second for Gallup.
I don't want to keep talking offense, dog. Okay, let's get off the Jamar Chase thing, man.
Okay.
I ain't trying to talk about no
back
damn
to
Jamar.
defense, though.
Yeah, back to defense.
Back to defense. I say it like this: we go get a safety if we want a safety.
Well, we ain't gonna get one in free agency, so it's gonna have to be the draft because Stephen Jones ain't gonna spend no big money on no top free agent safety. We already know that. So I don't think that's gonna be a guy where you get a 6 or 7 year multiple deal from free agency where you're getting big money. That's not gonna happen with Dallas. So we have to be in the draft.
We go do a Marshalls again.
Yeah, we ain't gonna never do that.
It should be,
but it's not. So
no, not even a big safety. Like, cause see, big game
well,
we pass on good, great. I mean, really good value safeties, bro. Like Peppers, right? Like Peppers. No, is he a great starter? No, but is he better than Xavier Woods? Yes.
But I don't want that though, boss. I don't want no better. I don't want no just better. I want like a Justin Simmons, like some people have been brought up. I need a dynamic dog. I don't want just somebody who's better. I don't want a Jabril Peppers with a Donovan Wilson. No, I want a dog. With
so you want Andre Cisco?
I want a dog.
Syracuse.
I want a dog.
Yeah, see, Andre Cisco, the top graded safety right now, unanimously and for good reason out of Syracuse. He gonna likely be a late first round pick, maybe second round pick, bro. Safety is very devalued and been devalued for the last 4 years. I don't know why, but all
But if
over
you
the
get,
league, people
I
treat
don't know
safeties
why.
like they ain't worth nothing.
I don't know why, because you see what
I don't
Minka
know why.
Fitzpatrick is doing. You see how he changed the game, and that's a guy just
Yeah,
because we could have had him
right.
possibly. And you see what he's doing. You see how he changed the. You see how he's changed the Pittsburgh secondary. Now imagine if we would have had a Minka
Woo,
Fitzpatrick right now and a
woo.
Donovan.
That hurt.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, that hurt.
That's what I'm talking
And he
about.
was available for a
Right.
second rounder.
Right, exactly. So, but that's Stephen Jones. His ass want to always hold on to them picks, which is great because they haven't did bad in the draft. But my thing is, you better always be hitting on the right every single time, dog, because that's a gamble to
Right.
always want to keep them picks instead of you can one year it's okay to say, hey, we're gonna wheel and deal because we want to win right now. We feel like we're right here, so let's go ahead and get this young player because he can be a future foundation guy, and we can still make this under the cap. But he's so damn cheap with it. And nah, we ain't doing that. We're gonna do homegrown. I just don't get excited for anybody on the free agency tip, and they're gonna have to be built through the draft. So hopefully they hit on it because they're not gonna sign one of these big name guys ever. Just don't seem like they're gonna do it ever again as long as Stephen Jones is on the helm.
I agree, man. I don't know why. What the trip is on Stephen Jones on safety? I don't. He been doing this for years, bro.
Not even safety, dog. He's not getting, we're not getting, when he came in and took over and said, we're not spending any more money on big name free agents, so we're not gonna overpay for what we feel is a regular play. So after he said that, and you've been seeing it year after year after year, I'm not even thinking about free agency anymore. I'm already thinking about Dallas never hits the first wave of free agency. We hit the third.
Never. We second week, third week at best now.
Third week wave of free agency. They don't never go after those names. So I don't even want to bring those names up any longer because they're not going to go.
And I actually like the strategy.
I'm not mad because it still keeps you flexible to be able to spend cash, be able to do what you want. So in that aspect, I'm not mad at that. But what I am saying is, though,
you want the defense corrected.
I want the defense corrected. But if you doing that, I don't know, dog. We need a defense. I think we also need a defensive mind. Get Sean Lee, dog, get Sean Lee out the damn uniform and put him as a coach. Now think about this, boss, and this is I'm gonna end on this.
Right.
If Sean Lee would have retired last year, right? You could have already had him on the staff.
Yep.
You could have had him as the defensive coordinator this year. Yep. If you would have had him on the staff last year. He could have been your last year helping with the linebackers, could have been a linebackers coach, and then you could have brought him right in being a defense coordinator. Because this is what I'm saying. John Lynchwood didn't have no experience being a general manager, did he? No. And what is the San Francisco 49ers doing? They're doing okay, right? Mike Mayock, he never was a general manager, ever, right? And the Raiders doing pretty good right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're doing good with some talent too, right?
Yeah.
So, we see that you don't have to have that 4, 5, 6 years experience to come right in and be able to do it. And Sean Lee been coaching since damn near Penn State, dog. When he tore his knee up at Penn State, he was coaching on the sidelines with them coaches. He was coaching. So, like I said, they could have had him last year on the staff. He could have been a coordinator this year. But if we're going to get better defensively, we need to put him on the staff and get him some players. I like that down the future, dog, because he's just one of them Peyton Manning minds.
Man.
He's a Peyton Manning mind, dog, on the defense. And if
it's
some players let him do it.
People that they are quarterbacks to a defense. Luke Kuechly, Sean Lee, and Ray Lewis.
Damn. I think Marcus Paul, they're saying in the feed, Marcus Paul died.
If that's true, rest in peace. I want to be very careful because they did that same thing.
Yeah, I know. I hope it's true. I'm not hoping it's true, but
I know, about that. If it is true, out of respect, we take a moment to say rest in peace. If that's the case, if it's not true, be very careful to not you, obviously, Big James, but even people that's putting it on the feed. Because it's in our media, I'm just being honest. It's too many people in our media that's in a rush to be first. Mm-hmm. They already said that Paul was dead when he wasn't, Mm-hmm. So it's like just like make sure you check about 2 or 3 references before. Not you, Big James, but I'm talking about the people that's putting it in the feed that he might have passed. And if it's true, obviously rest in peace, but just make sure y'all check the source about 3 times, especially with the Cowboys, because it's always a rush with our media to be first, and they would literally put a man in the. Oh, Adam Scheffner reported it. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
reputable.
yeah, I think
He
because
said,
it's saying Jerry put out a statement. Adam
okay.
Schefter just reported it.
Well,
Damn.
look,
And I heard he was really close to the players. So I
say
will
it's
say
one of those
this.
things I want to say, Big James, man,
Mm,
that like stuff like this even kind of makes me even.
man,
It's like because I know I was very critical of his performance,
I know it
but it's
makes me
like it
feel
makes
bad.
me wanna. Yeah, it make
It
you
makes me
feel
feel
bad, but it
bad.
also teaches me like even in critique, there always need. And I don't think we critique in a mean spirit anyway.
No, we never
But
did that.
it still makes me
It,
definitely
it
say going forward to continue to practice that because that I definitely try not to use words like suck and trash when it come down to
right,
describing
right.
even guys that's on our team.
True.
But at the same time, it just shows you just it's life is short. And I want to say this also before we get off. The guy was a strength and conditioning coach, y'all. I know this from playing football at a high level. Those are usually the most in shape guys in the world. They live literally in the gym. They will literally spend 8 to 12 hours in a gym every day. They constantly around working out, running with guys. So it just shows you before we go into Thanksgiving, give your little one, give your son, give your mother, give your girlfriend that extra kiss and love. Because if a guy like him can pass suddenly, anybody can.
Yeah. Yes. You know, just like you don't know the person, but I guess it makes things just how
It's messed
quick
up.
things are. You know how fragile life is. You know what I'm saying?
It's messed up.
I've had
He's still a part of the
he
Cowboy
and
family.
he was young gentleman and
Yeah.
but I think through this, and I want to be sensitive how I say this. Maybe this can be some more inspiration for the Cowboys, to continue to now fight even harder. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
have maybe some things that you were fighting for before, but you have somebody that you were close to in the building, especially a strength and conditioning coach. He's going to be close with the players like
No
no other.
doubt.
You know what I'm saying? He is
Yeah.
going to have the relationship with the players because he's seeing them, he's working out with them, he's dealing with them to build in their bodies what they need to do to get better. So he's having that working relationship, maybe that these other coaches and other people are not. And I heard that he was really close to people in the building because he had been there for a while because he got promoted. So he had
Right.
been in the building for a while. So a lot of people are very close to him. So in this and our tragedy, and I continue to pray for his family because I know how death is. My father passed away. I've had many, 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 many people in my life pass away. So I know how this feels. My brothers, my father's wife, he passed, and his wife, she just passed. She just passed last week, battling cancer with my brother. So, it's fragile. So I just hope everything works out. And if Dallas can use any inspiration to, continue to fight, I hope, they'll fight for coach and Marcus Paul. And,
I'm
for,
certain they will, man.
yeah.
I'm certain it's go get them that extra inch of fight in them. I'm certain. One of my best friends, Ronnie Braxton, he's they call him Real Truth. He's one of the top trainers, NFL trainers in the country. And you right, bro. You hit the nail on the head when you say that they have a special type of appreciation for those guys.
Hmm.
I was critical of him obviously because of the injuries, but the guys that he's responsible to get in shape, keep in shape, like some of those guys turn around when they get contracts and they give their biggest, you can almost say, tithe to their strength and conditioning coach.
Hmm.
Because I'm a man, I do read the scriptures. The story of Melchizedek was a story where Abraham gave a tenth to Melchizedek because he was appreciative of him. And I've witnessed my friend get literal cars gifted to him.
Hmm.
My strength and conditioning coach, who caused a lot of injuries, when we was at University of Houston, we all didn't like him because we in terms of how our bodies we got slower, but it was certain guys that loved him because it was like, bro, I needed to lose 20 pounds and you got up to in 4 a.m. with me to walk. When everybody else was asleep, you was working me out, and I'm in the league because of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a special bond with a strength and conditioning coach. Even if a bunch of them don't like him, it's gonna be some of them that just love him.
Right.
Like Liel, they were saying that he was overweight. If you
Right.
the guy that they assign and say get him in shape, that guy go work you out, but also talk to you like, hey man, you got this. The
Right.
world is yours. You just got to get this 15 pounds off of you. And it's you and him. And you
Mm-hmm.
sweating and you looking at him. He killed you and you still say, I appreciate you. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, losing this guy, they go play hard tomorrow, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And a moment of silence should be done, which they probably will do as well, since it will be in Dallas for the game. So I'm sure it'll be a moment of silence be observed, and we'll see what kind of Cowboys football happens tomorrow, man. I think they'll still get the dub. They'll jump back in first place, I feel, and not saying they can run, not saying they will run the table, but they can, and we'll just see how it happens. Main thing with me, boss, draft picks, it's all cool and all that, but my main thing is I just want to continue to see this effort and fight and
Right.
playing the way this team is playing. I think that excites me more than anything else. And as long as we can continue to do that, when you play like that, when you fight like that, and when you don't give up and you scratch and claw with your brothers and you never give up, wins like this happen. You know what I'm saying? Wins like this happen, turnovers happen for you. All of a sudden, plays happen for you because you continue to fight, you continue to work, and you don't give up. And when everybody has that one mind, that one goal, good things happen for you. And I think we're starting to see it now with the Cowboys in this last 3 games. And I think we'll see it again tomorrow with this inspired play with what has just happened in the Cowboys organization. So I appreciate you, big dog, jumping on. I hit you up at the last minute. You say, hey, man, dog, what's up? We need to talk. And you know how we do. Just jump right in, kicked
Yeah.
it, freestyle it. And I really appreciate that we can always jump in and do that. We ain't got to wait a damn week to, let's wait a week and let's go on. Nah, dog, we can always jump on here and do it in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah,
And
every time.
that's what I really appreciate you. But let them all know where they can find you at, what you're doing, all that good stuff, so they continue to support Boss Cowboys sports out there.
Yeah, so I will write a recap tomorrow on tomorrow's game as usual, and you can definitely follow me on all the platforms, especially Facebook on Boss Cowboy Sports. So yeah, the Boss Cowboy Sports Show also is coming. For whatever reason, it's almost like Big James is almost like always the guy that's the dude that's the kickoff guy. I don't know how that always happened, bro,
It's
but
meant to
it
be like that.
always happened. Like before I write the biggest articles or before I launched a book last year on the off season, it was always Big Game. So yeah, man, I really appreciate it too because I really wanted to talk about the Cowboys. It was a lot on my heart, and when I hit you, you was like, "Hey, man, we got the late night hype. But I don't think I can do it." But then he hit me. It was like, "Yeah, let's rock." But I appreciate that you opening up your schedule and you getting ready to do a whole nother show. Y'all give special credit. Y'all give special super chats, special dollars, and because the guy works his ass off, and
I
it's out of love, and his spirit about it. He ain't no kiss butt. He ain't bopping nobody. If we disagree, we go right here disagree, and that's the kind of guy I want to listen to. You know what I mean? And I do listen to. So yeah, so I always appreciate you allowing me to come on and talk ball with you, man. It's always fun too. It's easy with you.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate everybody. We had a great chat in there in the building on Facebook and as well as YouTube. A lot of my members was in there today. Shout out to Miss Scott and Pro. Haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you in the feed. My dog Vosh Lombardi, even though he was razzing me about the fantasy football, shout out to you, dog, for all the great work that you do
Oh, great job, Doc.
with the film breakdowns. My
Yeah, man.
dog Skywalker Steel was in here. We're gonna jump on there today. You know how Sky does with that wet. We call it that wow. That
Yeah,
that
but
wet ass production. You know what I'm
yo, man,
saying? So
say
just really appreciate my guys and everybody's in the YouTube community and bringing this good Cowboys flame heat We got so many good people out there that so many different opinions. It's just a good Cowboys got a good community out there, man, for
Mhm.
football. So we'll talk to you in a little bit. We'll be doing the hype again here in a minute. But I'm glad me and Boss got to talk it up, chop it out. Shout out to my guy, the Ninja, for the donations today. And just shout out to everybody who was in the feed. And, man, let's get this W tomorrow against these Washington football team, and let's jump back in first and let's see what happens. All right.
All
So
right.
from me to you, Silver and Blue Nation, Big Game James, Boss Cowboys, happy Thanksgiving to you. Eat up good. Eat till your stomach blows up. Make sure if you're seeing your loved ones, man, make sure we just had this tragedy happen and give them a big hug. Tell them you love them because tomorrow is not promised, and that's the absolute truth. So make sure you hug your loved ones and tell everybody you love them. And be safe out there in them streets. It is Thanksgiving. People tend to drive a little bit more crazier. So be safe out in them streets and take care. And we'll talk to you soon. Big Game James, Boss Cowboy.